So I'm currently watching TannerFishies, Did They Ruin Jay? We need to talk about him in season 3. And here's my big thing about it. I'm agreeing on a lot of points that they're mentioning. And one thing that they brought up that I had thought about, because I kept on giving myself excuses, is his memory and certain things that they pick and choose for Jay to remember. And they brought up a good point that I just automatically assumed in my head, that Jay remembers everything previously to the ninja recruitment. I just automatically assume that in my head. And so whenever you go about that, yeah, maybe some of the memory stuff makes a lot of sense. But watching season 3 part 2, you know that's not the case. Jay even mentions it. Nia asks, well, how did you lose your memory? He's like, well, I have no idea. I'd tell you if I knew. Because the first thing he remembers is waking up. Then some people from the administration are there and they tell him his name and that he works for them, and he follows them because there's some spiffy guys in suits. So what's the real explanation then? Muscle memory? That doesn't make sense exactly. Is it just part of his personality? He's just always liked video games? That would make sense that every version of Jay would like video games, just like how every version of Jay, in theory, would fall in love with Nia. If it's something like an alternative universe-esque version, if he went down this route of evil or whatever, is this how he's gonna turn out? And I like to think of it that way. I think that's a good thing to sort of sit on, because it hit me and I was like, whoa. That's what we're basically dealing with here, is if, he went down a completely different route in a completely different universe, yet is, whoa. And you think on it and you're like, this is a bit weird. I wonder how they're going to explain the memory loss situation, because in season 3 part 2, when they are in the realm of Lee and they're in the neighborhood, whenever we meet Aaron's parents and Nia and Jay are hiding in Aaron's parents' house in the neighborhood, you see on their little detective board behind their painting is that there's a picture of Jay, a drawing of Jay, yet they don't recognize him. He has not changed that much since being a ninja. The same name. He would think he's the same guy. He's got the lightning power. He looks exactly the same. So who drew that picture of Jay? If it wasn't both of them, because that's their investigation. That's their board. But Jay, they have in his suit, Jay drawn. So they must have known him. They must have seen him before. Why are Aaron's parents acting like they have not seen him before? Weird questions. I want to know how they're going to explain it. Because the way that in season 3 part 2, that they were at least trying to explain it from what I have seen, is that it's that tentacle creature. Sort of looks like an octopus with many eyes in a way. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but those guys, they mess with the brain. We originally had seen them in season 1, I believe. Part 2, maybe? I don't exactly remember when. I'll put it up. When Nia had encountered them, all of them, and where Aaron had seen his parents, and Lloyd ended up, seeing Roz and Woo, and how Nia basically finds out that Jay's lost his memory. That creature was there originally, and I think that's the explanation for why Jay's memory was erased. Because the way Lee had his is that it would completely just change that one aspect in your memory or in your mind, in your belief system. What if that had happened to him? What if the same thing had happened to him, or if he ended up joining the realm of Lee and then it ends up happening and he somehow escaped, but only after his brain has been washed? Was he that dangerous that Lee maybe thought of completely erasing everything? If so, why didn't Lee recognize him? Was it someone else? What else happened? I'm really curious to figure it out. It's an interesting thing that I'm excited to see how they're going to choose to explain it. Very, very interesting. I really hope because if you've already seen season 3, part 2, at the end of it, episode 19 and 20 aren't out yet, but a lot could happen, but also a little could happen. And what I'm begging and praying for, fingers crossed, is that they don't have Jay's memory come back just yet. and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but I really hope that they don't, because it'll be so good. This little bird has been so good for his character. I want to focus more on how Jay is now and how the other ninja will still accept Jay no matter who he is. I need that. Because it would be amazing to just see them having to learn, like, friends change. Sometimes it's not always good, but we can always be there for them and try to show them the right ways. And, you know, like, show how much Nia loves him and is determined to be with him. And how much Jay internally, even though he doesn't quite remember, still loves Nia. Every version of him loves Nia. And I don't think that they're going to, just for the fact that, like, it's sort of, in a way, hinted at towards the end that it might be Jay who's spying on Nia and the sorceress's consciousness in the coconut. And I'm just I'm so excited I'm hoping and praying that they don't, so that they can focus on more of Jay, who he is as a bottom line figure, who he could be more. You know, if he gets his memories back now, like, what type of character would he be? Would he still be overly angry? Would he have this mix of emotions and have a breakdown, hide himself away? You know, there's so many different things where his character could go right now. And I hope that they just hold on to what they're doing now a little longer and don't solve that problem quite yet. I'm pretty sure that they're hinting towards that, like I had mentioned earlier, about, like, at least how his memory was erased, but I hope that they don't fix it. I hope that it doesn't come back right away. I hope it's a slow thing where it slowly comes back, or, you know, maybe it doesn't come back at all and they have to make new memories and, you know, show that they do care. Because the only reason why Jay is the way that Jay is now is because two people that he had trusted, that told him the quote-unquote truth, did not tell him the truth. They lied to him and manipulated him. So as far as he's aware, the ninja will do that too. Anyways, that's all I had to really add on, because I just finished the second half of the TannerFishies video, and I love most, if not all, of the points that they made in that. I definitely I'm so excited for where he goes. Jay is one of my favorite characters. He's always been one of my favorite characters. I felt like there wasn't a ton of focus. They always, like, were trying to do a focus on Jay and his character, but they never quite got it right, and I'm very excited for how they're doing this now.